Sharp End was known throughout the whole country.
It was vibrant and it allowed a lot of people to become independent and self-sustaining.
My brother and I got a haircut every other Friday on Sharp End.
There was certain dress codes. One of the stories is that it's called Sharp End because people had to be really sharp.
I played in the band for 4 years and we played there 3 or 4 times.
If we hadn't have done this, then all of those stories about Sharp End would have disappeared right along with it.
Sharp End was our main street before integration. It was just as important to us in this area as Broadway was to everybody else on the other side. Sharp End disappeared before we got here, but that's okay. We know Sharp End.
I was the originator of the whole project, along with Mike Brooks, who headed up Ready at the time. I said, you know, we've got this issue that's been hanging out here with the Sharp End that's been around for a long time. And the people, you know, the family members whose mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers own businesses there, that's still a sore point.
My mom opened a restaurant on the north side, which was adjacent to the pool hall. It was called Vi's Cafe, and it was a home-style restaurant. She catered to whoever came in. I was drafted. In my absence, Sharp End was removed.
Well, during urban renewal, everybody that left Sharp End when they tore it down was not able to reestablish themselves. Especially the people who owned homes and they purchased their homes. Because a lot of the people that they have purchased their homes, they were older people and they couldn't buy another one. They also tore down homes that were not substandard, but they just happened to be within the program.
The letdown was that when they started developing that land, they promised that there would be other places available to buy and rent, but it turned out not to be true. Prices were exorbitant, and just the ability to make that transition was spoken of, but it never really came to fruition.
When this project first started, one of the ultimate objectives was to educate young people about Sharp End. Sharp End's success so that they would understand 2 important lessons. Number 1, that this is part of who they are. And number 2, that they can create a renaissance of Black-owned businesses in our community.
We need to be able to get people's voices and their memories about the area while they're still here. If we would have waited 15 years, 10 years, we would have lost a lot of community members who told us valuable stories about Sharp End and what it meant to the community.
Well, I think it's good for the younger people to learn about Sharp End because it's history.
You know, when you say that there were Black doctors, Black lawyers, this kind of thing in this community today, you know, people look at you and say, you're crazy, where are they? But those were here.